Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, damsels and dingbats, to another episode of Grim Fandango. Last time we played, we ended up goofing up a little bit and got ourselves locked in the bad boy closet. So, let's see what excitement happens in here, shall we?
Hey, is anybody out there?
Hello?
So, Manuel, have you thought about what you have done?
No, my name is not Manuel. This one.
Who's out there? I'm you, or rather, I was you, years ago. Yeah, well, I'm me now, so get lost.
Confusing much? Get lost, me.
What are they gonna do to me? I don't want to alarm you, Agent Calavera, but have you ever seen a man sprouted?
No.
No, I don't go to those parties anymore. Then you don't know. There's nothing more horrible than the bite of the sprouter. Its deadly stinger spreads a green disease through every calcified pore on your body, leaving you veined with roots and flocked with grass, steadily growing thicker and thicker until you crash and bloom out in a horrifying bouquet of pain and fragrant suffering, screaming until your mouth fills with petals and your nostrils shoot out thorny stems, and the bulbs sprout in your eyes, leaving you nothing but a patch of wild flowers on the ground swarming with butterflies. Are you done? Yes. No, I've never seen that.
Sounds kinky, though.
Get me out of here. The only way out, Manuel, is to be taken back in. If you are truly still loyal to this company, declare it loudly. The management might hear and stick you right back in their fold.
Who said I'm loyal to this dump?
Yeah? Well, I got something they can stick in their fold. You have to try harder than that, Manuel. A man's loyalties decide his destiny.
I don't want to try harder. This place sucks. No, I don't want that one. That one.
The DOD runs a crooked game, and I intend to prove it. You would do that? That could cause this agency a lot of trouble.
Good. Screw this agency.
I'm gonna blow the lid off this place. Young man, you are an enemy of the Department of Death. Welcome to the club. Salvador Limones and guests. Where are you taking me? To the headquarters of the LSA.
In the sewer.
The Lost Souls Alliance. We're a small group, Manuel. We're always looking for new soldiers.
Do I get to be a Ninja Turtle?
To do what exactly? We need help in our intelligence unit. You know Eva, of course.
Manny?
Hi, Eva.
Once a reaper like yourself, Manuel. But I uncovered a web of corruption in our beloved Department of Death. I have reason to believe that the Bureau of Acquisitions is cheating the very souls it was chartered to serve.
No.
I think someone is robbing these poor, naive souls of their rightful destinies.
You don't say.
Leaving them no option but to march on a treacherous trail of tears, unprotected and alone. Like babies, Manuel. Like babies.
Drama much?
What's your evidence? That's where you come in, Manuel. Or should I call you Agent Calavera? Manny suits me fine. I'm not looking to join any military organization, Sal. I just want my job back so I can work off my time and get out of this dump. Well, you won't even be able to get out of this city without my help. Which means, of course, you won't be able to find that woman and you'll never get your job back. When you're ready to join the cause, Manuel, come talk to me. We might be of some use to each other.
But I must find this woman. Alright, folks. This is another one of those situations where I spent like 6 hours trying to figure out what the hell I was supposed to be doing next. And when I edited, I was like, you know what? They don't want to watch all of that boring ass crap. So I just cut it out. And I tried to edit it to get as much in each video as possible. So sometimes what I do may not appear to make sense, but that's because I'm following a walkthrough at this point. I'm like, I've given up. Like, the game isn't even through year 1 yet, and I'm like, I don't get it. But I want to see where this goes. I want to see what happens in the story, but I can't do that on my own because I'm a... At any rate, I'm coming up here because now that we've had that cutscene, Domino's office is open. So I'm going to go ahead and come in here and take a look around and see if I can't find... I think I'm looking for some sort of evidence or trying to figure out where the woman went or something like that. I don't know why I'm in here. All I know is this guy's got really bad taste in decor. I mean, either that or he's colorblind because... No. The door's cool. Everything in here is cool on its own. But you put any of it together, it's just not. No.
There's something glowing in there.
The painting on the ceiling scares me.
It looks like a glowing hunk of coral.
Well, take it and quit talking about it. Was
It's Domino's mouthpiece.
Ew. Why do I want that?
Ugh, Domino had this in his mouth.
Well, his mouth is just bone, but that doesn't explain why we want that. Alright, I searched the room at this point thoroughly. There's nothing else in here, so time to go. I don't know why I can't just leave through the door like a normal person. I guess maybe we don't want...
Dom's office is empty.
Guess we don't want the secretary to find out that we were in there, but she's not in there anymore. She's like... She's down working for the Resistance now, so why do I care? Or unless I don't want the boss to see that I'm out of the... Yeah, that makes sense, I guess. I'm supposed to still be locked in the timeout room down there. I still don't understand how Gladys fits in there. I am now tying the coral to the
I wonder
tides.
if that's how Domino meant it to be used.
You didn't get the chance to see because I edited it out, but the coral has 3 prongs and it looks like a grappling hook. Therefore, I used it as a grappling hook because logic. I still can't get over the pigeons in this game. They're kind of creepy. They're little skeletal birds, but they got like human heads and stuff. That's like twisted. I don't know why. It is. And birds are supposed to have beaks. Look at this little... Yeah, it's just not right. Alright, what I'm doing now is I need to chase the birds off because every time I try to get to those eggs, the birds attack me. So eventually I discovered you put the balloon and then you cover it with the bread, which last episode, remember, I told you that I didn't have the bread. So I had to go back and get it, and I just edited the video and put it back in the beginning so it looked like I did. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. So I put the bread on top of the balloon, and then the birds will come over and eat the bread, pop the balloon, and scare all the birds off so I can get to the eggs. That is the plan. Now, what I think is funny is that balloon popped and only that little group of birds flew off, and then in this cutscene, they're all leaving. It's like the ones over by the vents were like, oh yeah, we need to leave. Yeah, delayed reaction. Yeah, those guys were mean. I shall now go collect the eggs.
You must come with me, young ones, for I am the Green Reaper.
Now, the quests in this game are very vague.
Man, are those pigeons gonna be ticked.
Because I'm collecting the eggs right now for the Resistance leader. And I guess he needs my teeth. And he didn't really say any of that. Like I didn't know what I was supposed to do next, and I read the walkthrough, And I was like, why do I need these eggs? Why do I need this mouthpiece? And then as I went through it, and, you know, followed the steps of the walkthrough, I was like, oh, well, they needed my teeth and I didn't want to give them up, so that's, you know, what the mouthpiece is for. Because I'm about to go make an indentation of my teeth with this mouthpiece. And then the birds, the bird eggs, he ends up raising the birds to become messenger birds. So, I mean, it makes sense after the fact. But unless I just completely skipped over the part where he said bloody 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 blah, there would have been no way for me to tell that I needed to do any of this. It wouldn't have made any sense. So there's no logical reason for me to have done this. Now, more than likely what happened is he went bloody 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 blah, and I just didn't catch on to any of it for some dumb reason. Okay, this is Fixident. Not the denture stuff. Oh, excuse me, Philodent, not Fixident. My bad. Ironic that it's called Philodent and not Fixident, though. I've got it in this plate now. Now I'm trying to figure out. I'm supposed to put it in my mouth. I'm trying to figure out how. I haven't quite mastered the whole inventory system yet. Like, there's a way, the button right above the suit. When I have something in my hand, I can either interact with something else and use that item on it, or, you see the little button above the suit over there on the bottom right? If I just click that, then I can use the item on its own. I didn't realize this for a while. Until now. Up until that point,
that made him quite a chalky aftertaste too.
Yeah, up until that point, I was just walking around the freaking garage for like 20 minutes. Like, what am I supposed to do now? How am I supposed to use this? But after this, after I figured out that the items can be used on both the environment and independently, you know, I don't have a problem with it again. Or, well, when I remember, right? Sometimes I have a spastic brain moment, but you know me. So I've got the indentation of my teeth in the eggs now.
And to guess.
Back into the Ninja Turtle sewers. And do I smell pizza? So see, I use the eggs on him.
Check these babies out. Excellent, Manuel. With these, I can breed an entire army of winged messengers. Our revolution can...
And then I give the teeth to her. Or the thing.
I myself would also like to spread across the land. But you can't. We need your dental work here to access the computer. I'm sorry, but freedom has its price.
See, and I'm not about to give up my teeth. Not an option.
Manny, this looks like a perfect impression of your teeth. We can use this as a mold to make a fake set of teeth and get into the computer system that way.
Good work, soldier. You are a friend of the revolution, Agent Calavera. And now, let me be of service to you. You must go to the town of Rubalcaba, my friend. You want to find your lost soul. How do you know where she is? I don't. But everyone who wants to get to the ninth underworld must cross the Sea of Lament. And therefore must go to Rubalcaba to get passage on a ship. As long as you get there before she does, you'll find her. But it may be quite a wait. I'll wait as long as it takes. Manuel, are you in love with her? Love? Love is for the living, Sal. I'm only after her for one reason. She's my ticket out of here.
Now, does it seem a little morbid to anyone but me that I got these eggs for this guy?
That was some tunnel. I'm all the way to the edge of the petrified forest.
And when they hatch, they're going to be skeletal birds. So they're already dead. So they're being born dead. Undead, I guess. that's a little creepy to me. I mean, hi Gladys. That explains where you went.
Gladys, my friend, why are you crying?
Maddie? Oh, Maddie, they fired me.
Me too, buddy.
You don't understand, Maddie. I was created just to do that job. It's the only thing that makes me happy. It's like they reached into my chest and pulled out my heart and threw it into the woods to...
Okay. Why did you do that? Gladys.
What have you done?
Moron.
Oh, Gladys.
Alright. Oh, great. Oh, yay. As if spiders weren't bad enough. Now we got bat spiders. Oh, well, that reminds me of a post on Facebook somebody put up the other day. Be glad spiders don't have wings. Well, thanks. I blame you.
Oh, no. Ooh, ick. Shoot.
Okay. Alright, so I need to...
It's stuck in there good.
Now, I tried using my scythe initially,
I could always use a spare.
and they didn't want to let me use my scythe. I don't want to damage my scythe. Well, that's cobwebs.
Soup's on.
But apparently throwing a stick...
I'm very interested in that bone I put in there.
a bone, excuse me. Throwing a bone into the web first makes using my scythe an option. Didn't make a lot of sense to me, but at this point in the game, I don't know what the hell's going on anymore anyway. I mean, I'm just following the plot. The whole mechanics of how the puzzles work are just like, okay, that was different.
Oh, poor spiders. No more demon heart to eat.
And back to Gladys. I don't know if he should get his heart back or not. I mean, that's kind of... was not a well thought through plan there, fella. You gotta promise you're not gonna do that again. And see, the heart's laying here on the ground when I get back. Squish! Because surgery is not a thing that needs any knowledge at all here.
Heart. Heart is good. Be good to heart. Don't tear out heart. Heart is good. Strong, beating good heart. Hey, is that my car?
Okay, Gladys.
Mr. Lamont, I assure you the missing woman will be found. I will personally track her down myself.
Just like you personally picked her up from the land of the living.
That was my intention, but Agent Calavera somehow got to her first.
We gave you the fastest car, Domino. We gave you all the best clients. You had all the advantages. So how was this Calavera able to sneak in there and eat your lunch? Oh, now, Hector, you can't get too mad at Domino. That wasn't his fault. Oh, I can, Dom. You should know I can get too mad. But not at Domino. After all, he wasn't in charge of this operation. At least, not until now. Hector, no!
Oh. I guess this is, what's...
Funny.
what they call sprouting.
For some reason, I was expecting tulips. Well, maybe Mr. Calavera, eh, Domino? Why don't you personally go down to the basement and escort him up here? The sooner he's sprouted and we can get back to business, the better.
Wanna go for a ride?
I thought you'd never ask.
I'm not in the basement anymore, dumbass. Ha ha ha. Alright, so... I make this look a lot easier than it was. It actually took me a couple minutes to figure out how to drive this stupid car. And in this area, I actually drove into a couple of those tunnels, and it just spits you out another one. Like those comedic hallway scenes where the guy runs in one door and comes out the door across the hall, and they're chasing each other. going in and out of different doors.
Manny, this is a low-riding street rod, not a 4x4. We don't have the clearance for that kind of road.
So obviously, by process of elimination, this is the only area where I appear to be able to do anything. And it takes me a while to figure this out.
What sort of unholy Christmas tree farm is this, Gladys? Gladys?
Manny, check out this wheelbarrow, will you? With a couple of ATV nubby tires on the back and a 2-stroke lawnmower engine, we could make one sweet go-kart.
Manny, what have you gotten yourself into, man? Gladys, you're a special kind of Ed, friend. Alright, so the point of this is you're supposed to stop the tire on the wheelbarrow to block. These are like air hoses. I know they look like pipes, but they're actually hoses. And there are 4 valves, I guess you can call them, on the sides of this tree going back in and out. And you're supposed to set the tire on them so that the pumps on either side.
What are they doing to that tree?
Oh, city boy. You work all day in a 60-story skyscraper, but didn't you ever wonder what it was made of? The marrow of these trees, man. They suck it out. It's like cement.
Is that why the town's called El Marrow?
Huh? Never thought of that. Maybe so.
Alright, so anyway, the pumps are supposed to go alternating together. As soon as he's done talking here, I'll explain.
I climb it myself, but I don't want to take all the fun away from Gladys.
So, both of the pumps on the right side are supposed to go in and out. And then the ones on the left are supposed to go in and out together. Right now they're alternating top and bottom opposite sides, kinda. So, the trick is, you're supposed to move this wheelbarrow here until both pumps on one side go, then both pumps on the other, and then you hit the lever. I'm trying to knock over the tree. I don't realize this, because I'm trying to play some of the game without the walkthrough. And it's not clear what I'm supposed to be doing. I know the wagon, or I don't know why I keep calling it a wagon. I know the wheelbarrow's got something to do with it, and I can tell that when I run over these air hoses, that it affects the way those pump. So, okay, my brain's telling me this has got something to do with something, but I don't quite understand what the deal is yet. So I mess around with this for a while. You know, messing with this lever, messing with the wheelbarrow, talking to Gladys.
Ooh, careful, Manny. With the harmonic balancer turned off, those pumps might shake that tree apart. Oh, but... Oh! If we shook the tree down, those pumps would dislodge, and I could make high-lift shocks out of them for the bone wagon. Hold on. I'm going to unbalance that wheel with some of these weights. That'll shake it down for sure.
Now I have an objective. Now I know why the puzzle's here. I still don't know how I'm supposed to do it.
Okay, just give me a second to balance these doggies.
Okay, so I'm figuring he's going to climb up there, goof around a little bit, and it'll knock down the tree. I need these shocks because that's going to allow me... Excuse me, that's going to allow me to go to the next section, you know, earlier where he said that it's a low-riding street rod.
And maybe if I move them around a little...
There isn't enough clearance for my car to get over all those rocks. So clearly, I need these.
Let me try moving those weights around some more.
Okay, now we've already been through this. I'm thinking, okay, he's putting weights up here. Maybe... Well, he weighs a lot more than those rocks do, and he's presenting me the opportunity, so if it's in the game, you know, you gotta do it.
Outside of the entertainment value, that didn't do what I had hoped.
No, I was hoping that Gladys's weight would pull the tree down, and clearly it did not. So now I do this a couple times. I mess with the wheelbarrow a couple times. I'm thinking maybe if I put it on this hose and do that, or this hose and do that. None of it worked.
That was a dirty trick, Manny.
Wasn't me this time. These kids did it.
Oh, okay.
But I kept doing this just because I wanted to see what different dialogue options Gladys had. Now you see I've moved the wheelbarrow off of the hoses to see if that makes any difference. No. Eventually I figured out that if I put the wheelbarrow in the right spot,
Manny, until now we scraped along the ground like rats. But from now on we soar. Like eagles. Yeah. Like eagles on pogo sticks.
anyway, I figured out once I got the stuff alternating like I was supposed to, and I got the wheelbarrow in the right spot.
Concerned that our transportation wasn't ostentatious enough.
Get in. Or are you afraid of heights?
And then I got Gladys up there and spun him around. Once everything was properly set up, that's when the tree came down. But it took me a while to figure that out. I mean, it was, like I said, the puzzle was a little vague. This one was a lot easier. This one kind of made sense.
Manny, what are you doing? Don't you know what's on the other side of that gate?
Yeah, the way out of the forest.
Demon beavers, Manny. They'll make you into a dam.
Relax, Geppetto. I'm not made of wood.
But Manny, they don't use wood.
Demon beavers on a bridge of bones over oil. The designers had some imagination. Now, I've got a fire extinguisher, and initially I ran around trying to put them out with the fire extinguisher. I'm like, well, this is fine, okay? I can just put them out, no longer a threat. But then they just end up going back behind this tree. You see that one up there in the very top left? I guess there's a flame back there or something. They dip themselves in the oil, then they go walk through the flame and they relight themselves. So I had to use the walkthrough to figure out the solution to this. What I've done is I picked up one of the bones. I'm going to throw it into the oil, which is going to cause that guy up there to jump in to retrieve it. And then I use the fire extinguisher as he's jumping. After I figured, after I figured out what the solution was, the actual process was easy enough. You just have to make sure you have your fire extinguisher out before he jumps, otherwise you miss him and you gotta start all over. Now you gotta go back and fetch a bone and do this with each of them. There are 3 of them. Now initially there were 4 of them, but apparently the one that's up at the top of the screen doesn't contribute to this puzzle, because once I've put the 3 of them out, see, there's only 2 more now. The 4th one's disappeared, or in this case the 3rd one, as it would be. So just go through the process of coming back and picking up this exact same bone, going and see, there's the 3rd one up there, the 4th one. But you only have to put out 3 of them. But anyway, you go through this exact same process 3 times, and then you've cleared the bridge. Now you're not ready to go across the bridge yet. There's one more puzzle that needs to be done. Well, technically 2. But we'll get to that in a minute. I won't get ahead of us. Now, when I put them out earlier with the fire extinguisher, they just jumped into the oil and then went and relit themselves. Why they're hitting the oil and dying after I put them out now is beyond me. I'm not sure how those physics work. Once again, I guess it's not something you're really supposed to think about that much. But, on hindsight, I'm like, what kind of sense does this make, Don't get me wrong, I'm not critiquing the game saying, oh, this game sucks because this is broken and this doesn't make sense and blah-de-blah. I love the game. I love the game. But, and I can appreciate how hard it is to come up with unique puzzles that fit the game. But, you know, you can't help but nitpick a little bit when you're like, well, what kind of sense does this make? But anyway, so I believe at this point I've put out all 3. I thought I had to put out the 4th one, but now he's not up there. So I walk up to the end of the road and I don't see him. So I grab the stick. I figure, okay, I went in, nothing. So okay, puzzle's done. Now we go to the left of the main entry where those trees with the holes in them were. But I found out the trick was I had to get this sign. Now, originally I thought I had to run it over with the car and knock it over, so I spent a good 20 minutes trying to do that, and it's impossible. Then I couldn't figure out how to get out of the car so that I could go over and pick it up. It was just a big pain in the butt. But you get out of the car by pressing, I think it's U. You run down, pick up the sign, and then you have to plant it in the center of this area here. This is a lot like the archaeology in World of Warcraft, where you plant the scope and it points in the direction you need to go. Then you pick it up and then go plant it. You go off in that direction and plant it, and it'll, you know, it helps you home in on where you're supposed to be. This is a very similar situation, but you need to pay attention to what direction the sign's pointing when it does its little animation thing, because as you can tell when it zooms out here, first of all, if you watch here, it is pointing kind of up and to the left. But now you really can't see what direction it's pointing because it's hard to see from the top-down perspective. So you just have to assume that up and left is up and left from where you were, and you're not, the camera isn't viewing you from some weird angle. But it doesn't take long before this puzzle's complete, as long as you don't go too far. Just take little baby steps in the direction it tells you to go, and pretty soon. My problem was I kept overshooting. Instead of just going a little bit here and a little bit there, I'd like walk all the way to the other end of the map. But again, I've edited all that out I just left in enough to give you a sense of how the puzzle works. I would like to think that I learned some Spanish while playing this game, but I did not. I suppose I could have Googled it to figure out what loteria means, but I was too lazy, and I still am. And I honestly don't care. I mean, I understood the context.
It looks like some sort of warning sign. They'll tear you apart bone by bone and build with you a human throne. Their buck-toothed king will sit upon what once was you, but now is gone. This key unlocks the gates of hell. Steady traveler, use it well.
Okay, now this is telling me this puzzle could have been done before I defeated the beavers, because obviously it's...
Can't pass up an old creepy key.
Obviously, the whole poem is about the demon beavers and how the key is used to open that gate and this and that. I happen to do it backwards. So, obviously, a lot of this stuff, both in this episode and in future episodes, as long as the puzzles are done, you advance. It doesn't matter what order you do the puzzles in, as long as they are all completed. And I had a lot of problem with that in year 2. Because there were so many puzzles going on at once, I kind of lost track of what needed to be done. There's no quest log here. You can't look at your quest log and be like, oh, I still need to do this for this quest chain, or this puzzle chain. So, I had to use the walkthrough quite a bit for that one, just so that I could be like, did I do that? Did I do that? No? Okay. So, it took a while. This first year's not too bad. Like I said, the puzzles are a little vague, but it's nothing that, given enough time, you couldn't figure out without a walkthrough. I'm just lazy, and I'm doing this.
Híjole.
And like I said, I'm doing this for video purposes to show you guys the game. So I did play it, and I did try to give everything an honest shot before I referred to the walkthrough. But a lot of it, I had to use the walkthrough for.
This outer gate is huge. I'll need Gladys to open it.
Manny, I don't know if I like driving over people.
They can't feel it, they're dead.
You're dead. I wouldn't want to drive over you.
That's because you and I, Gladys, are friends.
Manny.
Oh, man. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to bring us to the close of another episode of Grim Fandango. Next time, we will carry on past the bridge of Dead Beaver Dam and see where the story takes us next. So until then, I've been your host, DM Renavion, saying stay safe, have fun, I'm out.